Alex O'Connor's objection to fine-tuning actually has a breaking point.
You find this compelling, but it doesn't really move you, really?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's compelling.
Yeah.
It's a great mystery, and it's an amazing finding, right? There are so many questions that spring up in my mind. There are just so many, it's difficult to know where to begin. We said for a moment ago, God doesn't punch in those numbers. He just kind of knows that that's how it has to be. Is God constrained by these constants?
He chooses to be.
He chooses to be.
I don't know that in his existence those constants exist. He created, but he is not himself part of the created universe.
So this is the thing that sort of confounds me, is that before the universe exists, and you just have sort of God up in the ether, and he's sort of thinking about creating this universe, to put it crudely. And for some reason, God is confined to these very narrow restraints, and in fact could not create a life-permitting universe, but within those constraints. I mean that he's constrained in the sense that he can only create a material world that abides by those particular constraints.
Oh, I think you could create any material world. I think he wanted to create one that was interesting. And so he made the selection of those equations and those constants in order for it not to just be a big waste of time.
But would it have been impossible for him to create a universe that's life-permitting and just as interesting, in which gravity was stronger?
Well, I don't think it would have been as interesting.
There's multiple questions that come up when I hear this, but the first thing that I want to do is, Alex, you have a phenomenal brain. He's far more intelligent than in a lot of ways than I am. I think we all have moments like this where we get caught up in our own thoughts. I feel like somebody has reached down and grabbed my hand and pulled my head up above the tree line. And I almost feel like I'm on top of this mountain, able to recognize all these things. And I'm thanking this person who pulled me up. And I want to reach down and grab Alex's hand and yank him up as well, so that he can see what we're all looking at. And I don't mean that to sound arrogant by any means, because it's not by my own power at all. But oftentimes I see Alex's intellect causing him to swirl in these questions that ultimately are just a plague that bogs him down that prevents him from actually seeing the truth that God is pointing at. And unfortunately, I don't feel like the Christian in this discussion did justice to actually defending this position and recognizing that, no, I mean, God's not constrained by anything. He could have created any universe that he wanted with any types of constraints or non-constraints. But we have to look at what is the purpose of fine-tuning when we're looking at it. It creates awe. It stops us in our tracks. Even atheists stop in their tracks and have to recognize, wow, that's pretty insane. All of these hundreds of dials that are so perfectly placed. The purpose of fine-tuning is for God to reveal himself. I don't see why it has to be more complicated than that, because it's ultimately not. The fine-tuning does what it's supposed to do, and it directs our sight back towards our Creator.